The dissolving reason your blood carries the exact same mineral that is eating the Dead Sea from underneath. And in 2023, it opened a sinkhole the size of a swimming pool in under 4 seconds. That mineral is sodium chloride, table salt, the same compound running through your veins right now. And the Dead Sea, the saltiest body of water on the planet, is disappearing. Not slowly, not quietly. 1 meter per year it drops, every single year. And for decades, scientists thought they understood why. They were wrong. The Dead Sea sits 430 meters below sea level. That's already the lowest point on Earth's surface. But here's the number that should make your chest tighten. Since 1930, the shoreline has retreated more than 3 kilometers. The water you see in photos from your parents' generation is gone. The beach hotels from the 1970s sit on dry, cracked salt flats now, hundreds of meters from the water's edge. Sinkholes have swallowed roads, parking lots. A beach that was full of swimmers one afternoon, a crater field the next morning. Over 6,000 sinkholes have opened along the Dead Sea shoreline. That number is climbing. And here's the loop you need to hold. Scientists always blame the water theft. Israel, Jordan, Syria, all 3 nations divert the Jordan River before it ever reaches the sea. The Dead Sea gets almost no inflow anymore. Evaporation does the rest. That's the story everyone accepted. A dying lake killed by human thirst, but that wasn't the whole answer. And what scientists just found underneath the lakebed changes everything about how we understand what's happening here and where it could happen next. Here's what's actually eating the Dead Sea from the inside. Beneath the lakebed lies a layer of ancient salt deposits. Thick, dense, millions of years old. As the water level drops, freshwater from underground aquifers infiltrates the exposed shoreline. Fresh water doesn't just evaporate there. It dissolves the salt. It carves chambers. It hollows out the ground in total silence while people park their cars above it, walk across it, build on it. Then the ceiling collapses. That's the sinkhole. Not just a hole, it's the ground disappearing because the substance holding it together was consumed from underneath. Now here's where the science goes somewhere nobody expected. Researchers drilling core samples in 2024 found something buried in the sediment layers, a record of a catastrophic flood event from roughly 10,000 years ago. At the end of the last ice age, massive freshwater floods poured into the Dead Sea basin. The lake levels rose hundreds of meters, and that freshwater did exactly what freshwater does to salt. It dissolved it. It carved a network of subsurface channels and voids that never collapsed. They just waited. For 10 millennia, they waited. What's happening now, the sinkholes, the shoreline collapse, isn't only modern water theft triggering modern geology. The current drop in water level is reactivating collapse pathways carved 10,000 years ago. Ancient voids, preformed chambers. The Dead Sea isn't just sinking because we're emptying it. It's falling into a trap set before the first human civilization wrote its first word. The salt isn't dissolving now. It dissolved then. We are living inside a delayed consequence of an event no human witnessed. And there's the connection back to you. Your body contains roughly 250 grams of salt. It regulates your blood pressure, your nerve signals, your fluid balance. Without it, your heart stops. Salt is not a background mineral. It is a load-bearing compound in every living system on Earth, including geological ones. The Dead Sea's salt is the structural skeleton of its shoreline. Remove it and the surface has nothing underneath. It is a body losing the mineral that holds it together. This means every coastline sitting on ancient evaporite deposits, salt beds from long-vanished seas, carries the same latent vulnerability. The Persian Gulf Basin, the Permian Basin in Texas, parts of the North Sea floor, shorelines we consider stable. Industrial infrastructure built on salt that could reactivate under the right water chemistry conditions. The Dead Sea is the visible case, the experiment we can watch collapse in real time. Scientists can now model the ancient channel network. They've mapped the next collapse zones. They've identified areas beneath the shoreline where hollow spaces are large enough to swallow multi-story buildings. The sinkholes are still opening. The lake is still dropping. The math does not improve, but here's what nobody has answered. If the collapse pathways were carved by an ice age flood 10,000 years ago and the Dead Sea is now triggering them by dropping, what happens when the lake level falls far enough to expose the deepest layer of ancient salt? The layer scientists haven't drilled yet, the one sitting beneath the dated record. How old is that salt? How many collapse cycles happened before the one we just found? And is the Dead Sea Basin the only place on Earth where this is happening, or just the only place where the water is already gone enough to show us what's underneath? The ground is not solid. It remembers water that fell before your species existed, and it is still settling that account. Word count 898.